I'm glad you mentioned the illegal wiretapping, because that's one of my concerns as well, that I want my Fourth Amendment back. And I feel that the so-called FISA reforms of the summer of 2008, where the Democrats said, oh, we're going to take this off the table. We don't want it to be an issue in the fall campaign. Well, it hasn't come back on the table. The wiretapping, the interception of emails continues at an incredible, I mean, virtually everything is captured. What they do with it, we don't know. And as we hope to return to constitutional norms, we see the Obama administration invoking the state secret privilege to block any legal action that would help us dismantle this illegal activity.
Well, I commend you for bringing this up. I think we have to talk about it. I think, frankly, there's been a lot of silence for fear that if you raise these kinds of questions, you may be undermining a new Democratic administration. And my God, we're certainly glad that George Bush is gone. But absolutely, we have to keep talking about it. And constitutional rights, restoration of those rights is one of the key platforms.
And excuse me, but you're well positioned, because your opponent is one of the few people who we know was captured on well, perhaps it was legal. It might have been legal, but it was a wiretap of a sitting Democratic member of the House of Representatives. And even if it was accidental, she should be very sensitive to these issues.
Well, she is now. However, previously we know that she, in fact, was a champion of illegal wiretapping. In fact, that's why I decided to run back in 2006. I saw her on Meet the Press. She was blasting the New York Times for actually finally printing a story to tell the American public that the Bush administration had been conducting massive illegal wiretaps. When I heard her champion the wiretaps on Meet the Press, I said, enough, I'm running, I'm in the race, I'm challenging this, and I want to make sure that the American public has a choice. Since that time, we've seen Jane Harman, the champion of illegal wiretaps, become snagged in an NSA wiretap, which was a legal wiretap. They had a court order, I believe, to do that wiretap.
Well, because it wasn't aimed at her. It was aimed at the other person on the line.
It was aimed at the American-Israeli Public Affairs Committee representatives who wanted Harman to do their bidding for them. They wanted Harman, as a ranking minority member of the House Intelligence Committee at the time, to use her influence to get spying charges dropped against two AIPAC analysts who were accused of spying.
And she was trying to make a deal to get AIPAC to support her in her desire to be chair of the Intelligence Committee. Now, this boggles my mind, that you would go to an organization that is essentially a lobby group for a foreign government and say, I will help you in an underhanded, off-the-table way. This conversation never took place, but I want you to help me become chair of intelligence. Now, this is a kind of deal-making and compromise of, is it the highest order or the lowest order?
Well, I think that what happened was when this broke, people were so outraged, certainly in our district. They were on the phone calling me. They were emailing. They were saying, Marcy, please step up. You have got to challenge her again, because you built up this base, got almost 40% of the vote in the primary in 2006, and no elected is going to take on an entrenched incumbent. You and I just talked about part of that story. The other part is that to get the FBI off her back after she was snagged in this NSA wiretap, she reportedly went to Attorney General Alberto Gonzales, working for Bush, and said, help me out here. And he said, well, I think we can make a deal if you agree to go on all the TV networks defending our wiretapping program, which is what she did. So, what goes around comes around. It's great irony, but I think what we have to keep in mind is that we need real representation. We don't want somebody to be trading our needs for the needs of certainly a foreign-influenced lobby group. Mm-hmm. We want somebody who's concerned about our needs, about health care, guaranteed health care for all, publicly funded, privately delivered, that's single payer. People are tired of large corporations exercising so much power in this country. They're sick of the bank bailouts, and now we see a bailout for the insurance companies. And we have to say enough already.
No mas.
But Peter, I'm very excited about the race. We can win this race. We came, as I said, we came very close to developing a large grassroots campaign last time that could have turned the tide had we had a little bit more time. And now, in 2009, we have a lot more time. And in this time period, we're going to be walking the district. We're involved in high visibility events, mobilizing voters, and I think the excitement is definitely on our side. People want real representation.
Well, I want to invite my listeners to go to the web at Winograd for Congress, Winograd, Winograd, the number 4, Congress.com, and I'll put that up on our website too. You can follow the campaign, you can volunteer, and if you're in a position, you can contribute to help unseat a very conservative Democrat and bring a real progressive to the Congress.
Absolutely, contribute, yes. You know, Jane Harman is probably the richest member of Congress. Her net worth is estimated at anywhere between $300 and $500 million, and that's after having lost $100 million in the economic decline. The euphemism, right? Mm-hmm. So absolutely, donations are important, and it doesn't have to be a large donation, but certainly that's welcome too. We do know, as we saw with previous campaigns, that small donations from a lot of people can make a huge difference. Mm-hmm. So I invite everyone, regardless of whether they live in the 36th district or not, to get involved in the campaign and also to become a supporter on Facebook, Marcy Winograd for Congress. Right. When I go to Washington, Peter, I want to represent the people of this country, not the large corporations. My opponent has been in the service of large corporations, big banks, voted for that bankruptcy bill, and the military-industrial complex. We are on the cusp of change. We are at the crossroads. And when I go to Washington, I will be working for the emerging green economy to redirect our wealth and our resources to provide jobs, good jobs for people, and real health care. So thank you so much for this opportunity.
Marcy, great to see you, and I wish you all the best in this campaign.
Thank you, Peter. Thank you.